5 people out to a party on a Saturday night, 4 of them dead on Sunday morning. Another one dies after a few hours in critical condition. Ariel Leal, Lance Garcia, Ken Migawa, Bianca Fontejon, and Eric Anthony Miller were in the Close Up Forever Summer Concert on Saturday. The event was at the open parking area of SM Mall of Asia.
Police report says at some point during the concert, the victims experienced shortness of breath and passed out. They did not know each other and were rushed one by one to San Juan de Dios and Manila Doctors Hospital for treatment. The victims' ages were between 18 and 36.
The organizers are deeply saddened by the incident. Close-up activations, advertising, and Eventscape say they put in place measures to ensure the safety and security of about 14,000 participants. The organizers add they are cooperating with the police investigation.
SM Supermalls also vows to cooperate in the investigation. It sends its sympathy to the families of the victims.
Initial police report says 2 of the victims died of massive heart attack. 3 of the victims' families have agreed to an autopsy. Details of this tragedy are still sketchy. In its initial report, police cited the presence of concessionaires at the venue selling food, liquor, and beverages.
One lead probers are looking at, according to an Agence France press report, is heat stroke.
We have Dr. Freddy Gomez explaining this to us this morning. Good morning and welcome to New Day, Doc.
Good morning, Evelyn. Good morning, Karen. Thanks for having me on New Day.
So let's start first with this lead that they're looking at, which is heat stroke. How possible is it that with the circumstances that we've shown that it was possibly caused by heat stroke?
Right, Evelyn. Yes, heat stroke could actually play a vital role in what happened into this untoward incident would happen to these 5 concert goers. Heat stroke, actually, it was talked about several episodes ago in Med Talk, that your classical heat stroke affects the very young and the very old. In this case, their age groups are around 18 teenagers to 36. There's what is called an exertional heat stroke. This is a type of heat stroke which happens when the person exercises, when the person exerts effort. Heat stroke, just to make everyone know, is a life-threatening condition. It's different from heat exhaustion, yung napapagod lang. They rest and they're fine. Heat stroke actually is when the body core temperature reaches 40 degrees Celsius and above. In this situation, I think there are several factors that may have contributed to it. We all know that the climate recently has been really warm.
Yeah.
Temperatures that night probably around the 25-30 degrees Celsius, plus the humidity must have felt even warmer. I believe this type of concert wasn't just a 1 hour, 2 hour. I think it was a long. It was a more than a 6 or 12 hour concert. So heat may have played a definite factor here. There are several other things that may have contributed to
and
this.
does heat stroke lead to heart attack? Because we saw in some reports right now that there are cases, 2, I think, that were confirmed that were dead due to a massive heart attack.
Well, this could also contribute to that fact as well, because when the body reaches a certain temperature, in this case 40 degrees Celsius and above, there are several things that may happen within the body. So the cells may become damaged, which may cause increased heart rate, liver function may be affected, kidney function may be affected. So all of these may happen. This doesn't happen right away. Heat stroke doesn't happen right away. There must have been signs or symptoms. It's unfortunate that they may have exhibited signs and symptoms of heat stroke in this case.
What are these signs and symptoms?
Some of the signs and symptoms for heat stroke is definitely increased heart rate. When we say increased heart rate, we're talking about 150s, 170s, and above. The person, the individual in this case, may also start to be confused. They may become agitated as well. Their blood pressure, in fact, their heart rate is so fast, but their blood pressure is low.
But why is it?
And it's so hard to detect because it's a concert.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Why is it like there were for sure there were other 18 to 36-year-olds there, and how come only these 5 people? What could be there? Is it possible that they had like an illness or a prior condition?
That could be a factor as well, Amelin. It's hard to say since there's still an investigation going on. There are several factors that could contribute to this. One of them could be alcohol. Alcohol will dehydrate the body. There are other factors which we will wait for investigators, we'll wait for the autopsy to come out, that may contribute to the body being taxed even more. The body is already having a hard time with the heat, with the stress and everything.
Which
and
might make them more susceptible to a heat
Correct,
stroke.
correct.
Dr. Freddy, you mentioned an autopsy, and there are several speculations on the cause of deaths. What would be the period before we get an autopsy report?
Well, traditional autopsy report might be ready within probably around 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, that's long.
That is because it's actually a pretty extensive way of determining several factors, because it's a surgical procedure which they look at several organs in the body, they take measurements, they look at the blood composition and things like that. So an autopsy is performed when the cause of death wants to be determined. So they look at all the factors, they measure the weight of the organs and stuff like that to see what might be off. So in this case, the kids with the hearts, they might check the hearts, they might check the size and stuff like that. So
And
that
an
may take time.
autopsy report is conclusive.
Yes, it's a legal report, so that's why doctors as well, the ones who do it from the crime lab or the pathologists who do it, are very careful when they do the reports.
I guess my last question to you, Doc, for this morning is that I'm pretty sure there will be other parties. I'm pretty sure there will be, you will be involved in some party one way or the other within your lifetime. So what should you do? If you see somebody with those symptoms that you mentioned earlier, what was the first thing, a first aid that we can do so that it would not lead to heart attack?
Well, the first thing you'd want to do, I'd like to tell the parents or even the individuals as well. I think there's someone there who's, I think 36, you said was the oldest victim there. I think what should be ingrained in their mind is to prevent. If you know you're going to a party, if you know you're going to an event, it's going to be exceptionally warm, you're going to be dancing, there's going to be some physical effort. Limit some of the factors, drink lots of water, limit your alcohol intake. But when the situation comes where you see someone there, it's hard to measure the temperature to see if it's
or
at
their
40
blood
degrees.
pressure,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. But if you see the person confused, if you see them flush already, if you see them breathing heavily, sit them down. Don't wait for them to go unconscious. Cool them down. That's actually the first thing you want to do. We talked about it on Med Talk on the show before. An emergency room specialist came in. Cool the person down first before even transporting them, or while transporting them to the hospital, cool them down. Ideally, you want ice water to really lower the body temperature.
Regardless of whether it was because of heat stroke or some other thing, just cool the person down and stay away.
Well, you want to see to make sure if they have signs of heat stroke, heat exhaustion, stuff like that. You want to lower the temperature down to hopefully prevent.
And to prevent heat stroke, you have to make sure you're you're hydrated all the time.
Yes.
Should
Hydrate frequently.
Should you drink plain water or something
plain
with
water,
minerals or salt?
Plain water would be an ideal thing. If you have liquids or fluids which do have electrolytes in them, that is okay. That is actually the ideal thing to drink. But drink water frequently, like every hour or 2 hours or so. Keep on drinking, even though you don't feel thirsty.
Okay, those are very helpful tips. Thank you, Dr. Freddy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That was Dr. Freddy Gomez of MedTalk for joining us this morning.